What's up YouTube? Zack Foree here. Today I've got something a little bit different for you all. I'm going to give you all 3 tips on why your hamstrings and or your legs aren't growing. Tip number 1. You're not as strong as you think you are. Yes, it's true, you're doing too much weight. If you're doing a standing RDL or a lying hamstring curl or any exercise for a hamstring and you're not feeling the movement and the tension strictly in your hamstring, you've got too much weight or you're doing the exercise wrong. What happens is if you load up the bar or whatever you're doing with too much weight, your body is naturally going to recruit other muscles to help you get the weight up, because all your body cares about is moving the weight from point A to point B. It doesn't care how it gets done, and that's ultimately what's important in bodybuilding and developing your hamstrings. You're doing the exercise just completely wrong. If you're not feeling it in your hamstring, you're not feeling it stretch and lengthen and contract like it's supposed to, you're not doing the exercise right. So we've got a lying hamstring curl machine. I'm gonna go over tips and examples on how to do this properly. 10 pounds, that's it. You can, like I said in previous videos, 10 pounds you can make feel like it's 50. I'm gonna slow the exercise down, and that's gonna be another important thing you wanna focus on. You're really just retraining your body. If you're not feeling the movement right in your hamstrings, if you're feeling it in your lower back, or places you shouldn't be feeling it, you basically gotta retrain your muscles in your body to fire and activate like they should. So the only way to do that is to retrain yourself neurologically, is to slow the movement down. That's gonna help you focus on tightening everything rather than just exploding and just throwing the weight around. So I'm gonna slow the movement down, let you all see it, and then I'll go over some tips and pointers on what I'm doing consciously in my head to make sure I'm doing the exercise right. First thing that you want to check is your placement. You can play around with this as much as you need to. Wherever you feel is necessary, this bar needs to be across the back of your calves or on your ankles, your heels, whichever place feels the best, where you get the best contraction, that's the place you need to use. I typically like to keep this as close to my knees as possible. So I like to keep it up as close to my knees as I can. I can keep everything tight from right there. But anyway, first thing is placement. All right guys, second tip. Right now, I'm actively pushing my hips into the bench. That is the biggest tip when doing lying hamstring curls. The biggest tip I've ever gotten was to keep my hips in the bench. I've seen people do that wrong so many times. Whenever they load the weight up, too much weight, or they're not doing it right because there's too much weight on the bar, the first thing that happens, your body wants to move the weight from point A to point B the easiest way it can. So what's it gonna do? It's gonna recruit other muscles like your lower back, your quads, your hips, to get the weight up. So when you try to curl up, you wanna try to push your hips down into the bench, because what's gonna happen is your hips are gonna wanna rise up as you curl, and that's not doing anything for your hamstrings. So what I'm doing, I'm actively driving my hips into the bench and raising my legs from my glutes. I'm actively flexing my glutes down into my hamstrings, into my calves, and driving my hips into the bench. So it looks like my body is almost pulsating up and squeezing on every rep. And like I said, you wanna go super slow with these reps. You're trying to basically retrain your body and retrain your hamstrings to fire the way that they should. Tip number 3, add more volume. Yes guys, adding more volume with your hamstring work is gonna pay off and is gonna benefit your hamstring development from here on out. The benefit to adding volume in your hamstring work is, again, going back to retraining your nervous system neurologically to train your hamstrings to fire. The more repetitions you do something, the better you're gonna get at it. So you wanna add more volume, do 12, 15, even 20 reps. Make it burn. You really want to get the lactic acid built up in your muscles. You want to get all those fibers firing like they should. Really focus, again, on keeping all the tension on your hamstrings. Don't let it go to your back, your hips, your quads, none of that. Focus on those 3 tips. I guarantee you're going to notice a lot more development in your hamstrings. Alright guys, so that will mark the end of this hamstring video. I hope you found some value in today's video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to drop a little hamstring workout for you all in the description. Kind of fits solely into what I've been talking about in this video. Just some examples, like maybe like if you couldn't do a weighted lying hamstring curl, like you just weren't feeling it, I would recommend that you use a band. Like anchor a band to a dumbbell rack and use like a decline bench to curl. You'll use a band to curl with. Bands are the way to go when it comes to that kind of stuff. So you're gonna get a lot of band work. And it's not good, don't throw out the weights completely, because that's really where your foundation is gonna be built on. But it's okay to take some steps back sometimes to go forward. And by taking steps back can be looked at as using bands or whatever to get your muscles firing the way that they need to be. So with that being said, keep working, keep growing. I'll talk to you all soon.